Addicting.
Amazing.
Enraging. Life-altering. Today we're talking about Grab VR, a free-to-play VR parkour-like game that came out 2 years ago, but is finally coming into its own. These are all very standard emotions to have when playing the free-to-play game Grab VR. Released on June 21st of 2021, this game didn't do so well in the beginning, but let me tell you why 2023 is going to be Grab VR's year. But first, park it right here, folks, because if you don't know what Grab VR is, let me briefly recap you. Grab VR is a free-to-play, multiplayer parkour game that allows you to run, jump, climb, and even fly through different levels. There's over 150,000 player-made custom maps for this game, and let me tell you, it is the best way to stay competitive with your friends. Now, if you play games like Gorilla Tag, you're already going to be familiar with the way this movement system works. But the best thing is that this game combines all the fun factors of Gorilla Tag with a completely custom map creator, so that way you and your friends can create levels with complexity and uniqueness that you can only imagine. So here's the step. This game came out 2 years ago, and like I said earlier, it didn't have much traction when it first came out. Why didn't it have much traction? Because it's a very basic looking game. At its core, it's literally just a map creator, but it allows players to play together on these custom-made maps, which enables for an enormous amount of custom gameplay. There is over 150,000 custom-made player maps. We're not talking about regular run-of-the-mill maps here either, folks. We're talking about very complex, well-thought-out, player-made maps, some of which could take multiple hours to complete. So here's the cinch. When this game first came out 2 years ago, it really didn't gain much traction. And why didn't it gain much traction? Well, that's because the game at its core is very basic. I mean, it's literally just plop into a world and move around. But what makes it so unique in 2023 is that there is over 150,000 player-made maps that you can jump into with your friends at any point in time. Now, these maps aren't just simply walk forward. A lot of these maps are very, very challenging, and I'm talking about challenging to the point where you want to throw your headset across the room. And in a lot of situations, that's actually a really good thing, because it keeps you coming back, and you don't want a game that just gives you everything all the time. Now, it's very understandable that in 2023, with the way advertising works, many games are going to give you a lot of quick rewards right off the bat to keep you trying to come back and hook you on that reward feeling. However, I will say that this game has a hooking feeling that is totally different than that. I mean, when you play this game for the first time, you're probably going to get a little aggravated at the controls. But after you get into it with some friends and you start really challenging yourself on some of these parkour courses, you're going to find that it's a lot harder than it looks at first. Now, we've play tested this game with the fellas, and I can tell you, there are some courses where you will be stuck on it for hours. And I'm talking about doing the exact same jump over and over and over again. But finally, something amazing will happen where you will make the jump, you will make the slide, you'll finally make it past this part of the map that you've been stuck on, and that's the way that this reward mechanism works in Grab VR. It's a very unique thing. They reward you by you finally overcoming a challenge. And that's the beautiful thing about it. I think that's why it's so addicting. Acquiring the game is simple. You can download it through SideQuest, or if you join their Discord, then you can get their GitHub link right there in the Discord. Now let's discuss the development team. The game's made by SlimDev, which is a single developer by the name of Slim. SlimDev has worked on a number of projects, ranging from independent games to complete project overhauls, like Project Z, where he turned the game of Z Mission into a VR first-person zombie game. Now let's talk some numbers. The game already has over 1,000 customer ratings, putting it at just shy of 5 stars. Now on SideQuest, they've already got over 90,000 downloads. This game is also taking off this year, not just because of the player count uptick, but because of the updates. Guys, this is a developer who cares. And remember, this is a single developer, so to see somebody who cares this much about a project, especially one of their side projects, is phenomenal. Take a look at how many updates there have been in just the last year alone. Now, I could sit and tell you about this game all day long, but let's jump in and let's take a first-hand look at exactly how the heck this thing is. The first map Buckeye and I decided to try our luck on involved an enormous rock climbing wall. I scaled right up the thing, but unfortunately on the very last peg I hit some sort of invisible object, and as you can see here, I didn't grab the peg and I fell all the way back down to the beginning.
Buckeye.
Luckily, after about 15 minutes more of trying, both Buckeye and myself did make it all the way up to the top. Afterwards, I decided it might be a little easier if I just rode on the back of a pro, and so I let Buckeye carry me all the way through this part. Now, eventually, you do come to a point where you have to act on your own. So we had to say goodbye to Buckeye, and I had to start free falling. Now, as smooth as this looked, I totally didn't nail it out in the first try. This probably took us about an hour and a half to get all the way through. Now, as you can see, I'm not the best there ever was at Grab, but that doesn't matter. What matters is how much fun we have when we play with our friends. And with the coming and passing of Echo Arena, we're gonna need a new home to start bunkering down in. What better place than a place with over 150,000 custom worlds for us to explore and the ability to help each other along the way? So, bottom line, am I saying this is gonna be your go-to game every single time you grab your headset? Probably not, but is this gonna be a game that you could spend multiple hours in every now and then? Absolutely. And will you have a great time while you're doing it? 100%. Oh, hey guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. If you're a subscriber, you know I love you. And if you're not a subscriber, then what the heck are you still doing here? The video's over.